It is 7 o'clock, and you all know what that means. That means it is time for All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. That guy right there is Garland. And today, as we do every Wednesday, we're going to talk about This Is Us, last night's episode, and get you ready for tonight's episode of Snowfall. First of all, how you doing, Garland? How things going?
I'm doing well, man. Great day. Hey, that's what rain. We need rain. It's spring. Grass got to grow. So yeah, man, it's been good. What about yourself?
Hey man, been doing well. It's over here. I'm back in that weight journey. Trying to drop these
We
pounds.
all are.
These weights. I don't want to
Mhm.
look like a lowercase B anymore. I'm trying to look like an uppercase P. You know what I mean? Get that get that bubble from here up to here. So back in that struggle. Hey man, you're right about the rain, but it's something about the wind. It's been like windy for the last
Yeah,
17 months or so. I don't know what the
yeah.
hell's going on. So
Little wind whipped up and whatnot, but
yeah, man. And
it
and
could
the
be
worst
worse.
part about it for me is that every time the wind blow, all the trash seem to blow in front of my goddamn house. It don't blow in front of nobody else's house
Right,
but mine. Just
right.
all kind, just trash, just McDonald's bags and everything. I ain't even no McDonald's around. Well, the McDonald's is like 4 or 5 blocks up the street. How the back? You know what? Anyway, don't get me. I ain't gonna start complaining. Anyway, so I know we're gonna start with This Is Us. So let's just get into that because if I get to complaining about the trash, I'm gonna be mad. Plus today's trash day anyway. So
That's right.
let's get started.
Saturday in the park. Thought it was the 4th of July. I know you know that song by heart, Calvin. So don't even play like you don't
I've
know
not I've
Saturday. You don't know
I've
that?
never heard that song before in my life.
Chicago. You never heard that song before.
So let me tell you where I pick up from Chicago. I am a Peter Cetera fan, but I pick
Mm-hmm.
up more Chicago when he went solo and he was doing the Karate Kid. I am the man who will fight for your honor. I'm more of that. That
You boy,
I'm
that
more
guy.
there with Chicago.
And for my hip hop people, always got to throw some hip hop into it. That song was sampled by De La Soul for a jam called Saturdays.
It was. It
Yes. And
was.
so anyway, just in case you're playing some hip hop trivia, now you know. Now we should have known, and we were trying to theorize around this. We should have known that the big green egg was just a red herring. The only thing this us likes to do more than tease about the future is a twist in the present. And so while viewers went into last night's episode, assuming we'd be seeing a sweet little Jack somehow burn himself on dad's new smoker, the story behind the forehead scar is a little bit different. In a moment of chaos during Rebecca and your boy Miguel's anniversary party, Jack sneaks out the house, makes his way to the park, and falls and hits his head bad enough that he needs several stitches. And so Saturday in the park is a pretty simple episode anchored around that tense afternoon in the present and a runner or a forerunner of Jack and Rebecca's goofy anniversary date back in 1986. We don't care about what happened in the past because we don't care about Jack. Now, it's two terrifying parental rites of passage all wrapped up in one in this episode, Calvin. It's the first time your kid gets lost and the first time your kid has a major medical emergency. And so while that experience might bring some parents closer together, it's the breaking point for our girl Kate and our boy Toby. Now, all of the resentments that have been simmering just beneath the surface come pouring out in a lawn fight that rivals Kevin and Randall's big blowout from season 4. And so, first, is Kate and Toby's front lawn, is it cursed? Because it always seems like it's a fight in front of their house.
All I know, the only thing I know about their front is they got that rude ass, ignorant. I don't know what kind of disease he has, ass neighbor that's always getting smart with everybody. Well,
Right,
always getting smart with Kate, rather.
right.
He seems to like little Jack, but always getting smart. But no, I mean that just seems to be where the drama happens because the yard is full of the green egg and alcohol. That's what they
Right.
seem to be doing out in the backyard. So.
Now, did you think that Randall and Kevin they was going to bank Toby because Toby was out there talking kind of reckless, and they come pulling up like, "Yo, watch your mouth." Like they look like they was about to, do a little kick stomp on him.
Yeah, so she may be your wife first, but she may be your wife now, but she was our sister first. I mean, I thought they assembled like the Avengers in that mug, because
They form
yeah,
like Voltron.
I thought they was going to beat. I thought they was going, at least it was mild, I mean, Kevin told him to stop, and Randall just got in between them all, like, hold on, back up. So it was kind of mild. I thought it was
Right.
going to be a little more, but it was kind of mild. But you saw that Toby knew what was up. He looked at him and was like, "Yeah, so this is what it's always been." And it's like, yeah, man, it's what it is.
Right.
It's a shame, only because your marriage is sacred, and no one should be in it. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have disagreements. You get to the point where you may say things you don't really mean, and no one should really be involved in that. But it was out in the streets, and they got to hear it, and they're going to defend their sister, no matter if she's right or if she's wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of like Randall. He just used his blackness. He didn't say too much, because white guys are scared that black guys are going to kick their ass. And so he just used his blackness as in like, Kevin, he was kind of like, what you going to do? And then when Randall stepped up, he was like, oh, yeah, yeah, this is where it always been. Yeah, because that blackness slowed him down. Like, I'm black. That's how we do when white, like, yo, I'm what? You get a little, what? What?
Until you run into the right one, you go down
Right.
Fells Point. You go down Fells Point the wrong night, and white boys get that drinking, or out in Towson they get the drinking. They don't back down, and you can hit them.
Fucking
this is what
A.
I this is just what I heard. You can hit them constantly, and they still may not fall. It's just what I
Right.
heard. I
That's what you
so,
heard. Yeah,
that's what I
because you're a lover, not a fighter. And so
heard. Always.
always it's reassuring that the show seems to agree that Toby is more wrong in this incident. And it's satisfying to watch Kate call out his tendency to pull away and shut people out when things get tough. And so we know that Toby is the gaslighting toxic king. Did he maintain his title last night?
Maybe, but see, I think they were equally wrong when it came to Jack.
Interesting.
Toby didn't. Toby, of course, didn't lock the gate, and then I'm kind of with Toby in the, why do you teach a child to unlock a lock even though the lock was already unlocked? I mean, he's a little too young to learn how to unlock a lock, because it could happen. Now, with that being stated, I think their argument had a lot more to do with what's going on than anything about Jack, really. I think Jack was just kind of like the match that set off the fuse on the powder keg. That was just the topping. They were going to argue anyway. They always talk about their argument, and everything just came out because of the raw emotion behind their son.
I think it's interesting, and I had that as a question, and you feel that they kind of both was wrong, and you know, I think is there a fine line between handicapping your child and making sure that they're safe, that they're empowered? Because Kate's approach was, look, I want my child empowered. I want him to know, yes, he has a handicap, but he does not have to live his life. That handicap doesn't have to shape him, and that's this fine line. I mean, it seems like you kind of on the both sides of it.
Well, no, no, no. I'm just talking about in the fact of Jack getting out, because it's the whole
Hmm.
unlocking the front door thing. One of
Right.
the things that you always teach your children is don't open the door for anyone or anything. You know what I mean? Even if you're trying to empower them. Now, it's really difficult to say, if Kate is doing too much as far as teaching him other things, because he is a child with a handicap. And the one thing I do agree with her, even though she said it at Toby, because Toby came with the jab, you think you're the only parent that can handle a blind child because you teach blind children. And in actuality, she is. Out of the two of you, she is the one that
Right.
should know and should be able to handle. And it's not like you're just teaching a child that's being ornery all the time or being bad. Like, he has a disability, and there's going to be some special things that he needs to know and he needs to learn how to do. And she's the one that's equipped to teach him that. And she had a point. You're just always trying to fix him. And a lot of times, people can look at you're always trying to fix me as if there is something wrong with me, as opposed to helping me and teaching me how to deal with whatever it is that I have. And then later on, if there's something that comes up, we can fix it. But, she's basically telling him, accept the child first. And then once you accept them, we can go on to other things and try to
Mhm.
fix what's ailing them. But you don't seem to be accepting them. You seem to be trying to fix them from the break.
Right. You know, yeah, I like the point you raised. It's like being married to an accountant, but you think you should work the book in the family, the financial
Yeah.
book. If your
Yeah.
wife is a certified accountant, you shouldn't be balancing the checkbook, bro.
Exactly.
And you do something totally that's non-financial. And so, yeah, she's the expert. You kind of should follow her lead. But I think, in some sense, she has not tried to didn't seem like she's trying to properly educate Toby because she's still resentful that Toby is not in the house.
Right.
And
Right.
so the way that she's delivering it is like, no, don't do this. And, that, of course, is causing that tension. So were you proud of what Kate did last night in terms of finally standing for something? Because normally she's always kind of like the person that might bow out. She's not always secure in how she feels.
No, I'm a believer in marriages. I'm a believer in marriages. So
Mhm.
I'm not proud of one over the other because, I don't necessarily want them to be at odds and I don't want them to break up. Um, it's refreshing. Well, not refreshing because we're used to it with Kate. We see how protective she is of little Jack, and she's protective as a mother. Like she's fighting dad over little Jack. The one thing she didn't say was that you don't love him. And a lot of times people will strike back with, "How can I tell you love him? You're never around." She didn't say that, but she kind of alluded to the fact that, yeah, you need to do a little more, and that's back to that accepting him for who he is. So I don't know if I'm necessarily proud of because again, I
Mhm.
think it came with some vitriol. It wasn't genuine. If she was sitting down and they were having a conversation and she was like, "Hey Tobes, I really wish you would just try to accept him more as opposed to us trying to look for ways to fit," that's different.
Right.
But
Right.
she had a lot of heat behind those words.
True. Now, she's not the only person experiencing a big revelation during the episode. With Randall there as moral support, Kevin, he manages to not to spiral into crisis when he finds out that homeboy Elijah is going to propose to Madison. And instead of making a rash romantic decision, as he always does, that will reverberate for decades, he comes to terms with the fact that it's time to let Madison go in a real way, not just a half-hearted way. And so are we happy to see that Kevin didn't find some woman to go sleep with or elope with last night?
We're happy to see that he didn't fall back and try to bring Madison back with him.
Right.
He's letting her go. We're definitely happy to see that. Him not finding a woman is just that's just his fault. Like he can go out and get any woman he wants. But yeah, we're definitely happy to see him
Mhm.
let Madison go live her life, and hopefully he's genuinely happy for her. I'm sure it's a struggle for him, but at least he's saying the words.
I think he should have shot his shot one more time. I mean, what the heck? You
No,
know, just let it go.
that ship has sailed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he did well with it. I mean, I think, realizing that it's over. I think a lot of times for some people in relationships, it's hard to realize when the end is there. And sometimes we keep on holding on to stuff that we should, let those things go and let it go to where it needs to go. And so, yeah, it was good to see that, he felt good enough that he realized that, yeah, this is, it's time to let Madison go and live her life and let me go and live my life and, be the Manny and build houses. And so, overall, I thought it was a great episode last night. The trilogy, it was up and down. Some of the episodes was not as strong as they normally are, but last night's episode was, I don't cry during these episodes, but it was almost a tearjerker.
Yeah, man. The so one of the things that I've heard actors say over time is you never work with babies or animals because they always steal the show. And Little Jack stole the show last
Yeah.
night. Little Jack was dropping some
Now,
gems, and every time he would drop a gem, all I would hear is "oh, oh, oh."
he said,
That's all I kept
I
hearing. Little
don't like
Jack was
your
killing them
shoes.
last
He
night.
said, these my boots. These is my chin. But my thing is this, Calvin. I know I'm gonna go to hell for this. Is he vision impaired, the actor, the little boy?
I don't
Because
believe
you
it.
notice his eyes was kind of crossed. I'm like, did they do that? Is that like a digital thing of his eyes? Is that what that did he act that way? Because if he did his eyes that way, I want
I'm
him to get the Emmy this year. He should get an Emmy because his eye, he had one eye going this way and the other eye was going straight. And I was like, I wonder if that's digitally enhanced, or if that's he's acting and he really did his eyes. I can't do it. And he did his eyes that way.
Yeah, let me click on this caption for Snowfall. 'Cause, bro, not the baby, son. Not the, you t- not the baby.
Bro, but I'm serious. Anyway, man, great episode last night. That
Real
kid, he
good
did
episode.
carry the episode, and what he did with his eyes, that boy's good. I'm a Google and see if that's his normal eyes because I think he was
I,
acting.
I want to also give a shout out to Rebecca because when she figured out Little Jack was in the park, her ass took off like the flash. She was gone. And I gotta give her that. Her old
I'm glad
ass
she
was
didn't
like,
get lost. That she at least had enough memory to get to the park, even though she ain't had no memory at the hospital. She had enough memory to
yeah,
remember where to go.
it's definitely time to move on. Although I did say when she was dressed in her little dress, and she got drunk younger, I did say when she came out and was like, "Is this too much?" And Jack was like, "It's too much, but I like it." I did yell out, "Don't let Miguel see it," because
Miguel, but Miguel would have been like, "Oh, okay, it's
wife
great."
stealing ass.
Leave Miguel alone, man. Miguel is earned. He's earned that dementia booty. So let him
Yeah,
have it.
why you call it? Okay, where's the caption for Snowfall? Because you just here we go.
She didn't have dementia, does she? All right, all right. Let me move on. Okay, Snowfall. Now this week's Snowfall created a fascinating gender study where almost all of the male characters blindly trusted and the women were instinctively mistrustful. So let's talk a little bit about what I mean. Now, we had our boy Lil Leon. He decided that he could reason with Cain, who had just tried to kill them all by brokering a business deal with them. Hey, we hit you off with some product, you can take care of your family. And so Franklin, here, yeah, I agree with Lee. Lee, you go ahead and do it. And so Lee, he says, okay, I'm gonna do this, but if Cain didn't get with the program, he would personally kill him himself. Now, this is a little contradictory because Lee has been going through this whole thing of black people killing black people in the community. We need to stop. But you gonna kill Main Man if he don't honor the deal. But nonetheless, our girl Louie, I think Louie just want to kill everybody. Louie is actually really the button pusher in all of this. Louie said, "Look, I don't believe in the plan." And then, instead, she met me secretly with her police crush that got this crushing on her, Buckley, to arrange a hit on Kane's life, even after he agreed to Leon's offer. And so, can we trust Kane? And is Louis right to get some insurance just to back up that, we just need to go ahead and get rid of Kane?
Yeah, so Louis is absolutely right. You can't trust Kane. So if you remember, Lee, his whole thing in talking to him was he didn't want to kill another black man. He did mention that, I don't want any more black bodies out, but he also realized that if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to drop him myself. And he knew that because they're trusting him. Remember, I said last week that I thought Franklin was a little shook by dude. Franklin to agree to this, I still think he's a little shook by Kane. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Franklin is as confident as he usually is. But Louis is absolutely right. You can't trust him. The whole reason he's after you is because you killed his brother. You cannot trust him. He can sit there and agree, and yeah, they can get that money, but that's one of them things where you letting that Trojan horse in, and as soon as things get all happy and comfortable, bow, he might shoot you in the head. Like,
Right.
I'm with Louis. Get him, and you saw how after they told the plan, Louis was just like, "Oh yeah, that sounds good," but she never let on that we're going to still kill him anyway. She got that hit out on him, and I agree with Louis on this.
Okay. Okay. Now, after now, this was it was kind of like the bombshell, but not quite a bombshell because we knew something was going on with Peaches. Peaches is a heroin addict. Okay, we didn't know this, but Peaches is he's on the H, and so uh, Jerome learns this after sitting in a veterans PTSD support group. uh, he learns a little bit more about Peaches, and he also begins to realize that he's suffering from some trauma of his own. And so, Jerome, he never set out to be a gangster or a murderer. He just wanted to sell a little weed on the side and put speakers in people's cars. And so Franklin, Louis, and Sissy pulled him into the crack cocaine game. But given everything that's happened, no one can blame him for searching for the nearest exit. And so before bailing Jerome, he decides to get down on one knee and ask Louis to marry him, which was crazy because everyone, including me, including Buckley, thought they was already husband and wife. And
That's what
so,
I said when it happened. I was like, I thought they were already married.
you saying the same thing? Like, what? Y'all wasn't already married? Was that was a revelation to you? I was too.
Yeah, I thought they were already married.
Come on, Snowfall. Yeah, how y'all gonna try to make this now in the last season? Y'all gonna marry them? We half of America already assumed that they was married. In the first season, when she was beating up the side pieces and stuff, I thought that was his wife, and they just was having a little fun. You notice how that disappeared too? They kind of was like doing a thruple type of thing, and I guess maybe the crack cocaine game is too stringent where they can't do these thruples anymore. I guess if you
They
sell
probably
weed, you can do
they
throuple.
probably still doing it. They're just not showing it anymore. They probably still doing it.
Yeah, I
They're
mean
not
they
big
was doing it
on that.
hard. And yeah, he had to be calling Louis out the back, like Louis. Louis come dragging chicks out the house. Now Louis is she's a strictly a drug dealer, and so yeah. Thank you, Snowfall, for letting us know that Jerome and Louis were not married. But any thoughts about Peaches being on the H? Was this what you were thinking? Like I was thinking maybe he might have been affected with HIV or something. Maybe that's why he's sniffing.
Well, which he still could be affected with HIV if he's shooting up. You just never know. He still could
Right.
be, but no, I didn't see that one coming. I definitely thought that he was just he fell for the money, which again he probably could have, but I never saw that one coming. Um, Also, just a side note, in watching the show, you realize Jerome is crying and he realizes he may have PTSD. I firmly believe that if I firmly believe that most people have some sort of trauma in their life that they may need to talk to a counselor about. I definitely believe if you are a black person and living in places like the inner city, there are some things that we just ignore, that we're just numb to now. But I think everyone could use some counseling and talking to someone because there's a lot going on. We hear about killings every day and we just kind of just keep moving, keep living our life. You live around shootings and fireworks and firecrackers and just things that when you think of a normal life they may not happen. You just drop it off to city life and things like that. But I think a lot of us could use some counseling, and Jerome definitely it overwhelmed him, and you saw at the end he went back home and went back to his people. So he
Right.
told Luke, he was like, yeah, I just I need to go back. I need to do what I originally set out to do.
Yeah, hopefully he get that Jerry curl cut because that's probably affecting him too. Carrying all them chemicals in your hair and it's treatment into your scalp, into your skin. That S curl activator, it it causes cancer.
Well, I think what's going to happen is, and I could be wrong, but I think what's going to happen is, because remember, he started getting into that music, that little rap music. I think when
Right.
he goes back home and you saw the other guys sitting there on the weight bench, I think when he goes back home, they're going to start a group and he's going to adopt his woman's name. And he's going to call himself Bow-Legged Lou. And I think they start the group full force by the end of Snowfall. So,
You had me there for a minute. I really was eating that up. So yeah, man, and my man Peaches, hopefully he find Peaches because he's about to kill Peaches' boy. And so let's talk about your boy Teddy. Now, Teddy, we already know Teddy's shady, and he yelled at your boy Franklin for hiring Peaches, and he tried to interrogate one of Franklin's new muscle guys. And so he also told Franklin that he would be picking the drop spots from now on. And then later, Gustavo, caught Teddy examining his wiretap equipment in order to spy on Franklin, who he claimed was getting lazy. And so when Oso realized Franklin was right about Teddy's newfound paranoia, and so my question is, will Oso help Teddy? And if he does, will he also tell Franklin what Teddy is planning to do?
they don't really cross one another's path without Teddy. So it's kind of hard to say. Plus, Franklin got so many other things going on. The last thing that he needs to do is not trust Teddy, even though he doesn't already trust him, but he can't. I just don't think he can focus on that right now. Now, I'm not opposed to seeing Oso take Teddy out because Teddy would never see that coming. He could possibly see Franklin coming after him, but he would
Right.
never see Oso coming after him.
Right. Okay. We're gonna see how it plays out. And then finally, speaking of listening devices, Sissy, she's walking around with that pen that Ruben gave her. However, it's unclear what she intends to do with it. Now, will she spy? Will she use it to spy on Veronique or Franklin or both? And what does she expect to accomplish? And so, this whole story of Sissy being on the inside, getting this information, it still really has not. It's not clear what she's doing. Are you getting that same vibe?
Yeah, I have no idea what her purpose is other than to tell Franklin's baby mama that you got to be careful and this and that. Maybe she's trying to protect her grandkid, but I have no idea what her purpose is. Even Franklin was like, "If you want to help me, do this, do that. Like,
Right.
stop hindering me. Like, the hell." Yeah, I have no idea what her
What
purpose
are you
is.
doing? And I can't figure it out. And she got a target on her back too, because we don't really know what happened in Cuba. We know that Teddy killed her husband, but you know, did he is he also going to try to kill her because she knows that he killed her husband? And so that information's still out there too, and so she's got a mark on her back with Teddy. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little crazy, a little crazy. And so, we see what happens next episode. I don't think that it looks like a wedding's coming up with Louis and Jerome and some other things. Look like Franklin gonna be the best man, and it's gonna be a little pop off. I don't know if NWA is performing at the reception, but we shall see. And with This Is Us, uh, looks like we're gonna keep on heading into what's going on. It looks like Toby's gonna try to come back home and give it one more chance. He listening to Calvin, y'all. He coming back. He gonna give it one more try. We know what happened in the end, but we know this is a setup for failure.
Yeah, I mean, because I know at the end, I don't think he should give him one more try. Just go ahead and move to San
Right.
Francisco, son.
Maybe we could tell him like, yo, don't do it.
Yeah, don't even waste your time, bro. We seen the
Reconsider.
future.
It's over.
We seen the future. It ain't in your favor, sir.
Right. You missed that episode. They wrote you out. It ain't gonna work. It's over, my friend. Yeah, man. So Snowfall, This Is Us. Tune in next week.
Yeah, definitely watch us next week when we go over the next episodes. Tonight's episode of Snowfall, and then next week's episode of This Is Us. Anyway, Garland, you got any closing thoughts that you want to talk about around this world or anything?
You know, I know we talked about Chris Rock to death and all those things, and so I don't want to bring up Chris Rock and Will Smith anymore. But I do think this is a great thing that I'm learning when we get into these dialogues is that we have to be open to have discussion and have different points of view. We all can look at the same picture and see different things, and that's cool. It's all right to have a dialogue about that. What disturbs me a lot of time when we try to have these dialogues is that people tend to get, if you don't agree with my opinion, then you're wrong or you're crazy or you're dumb and all of those things. And we have lost the ability to have a good discourse about issues, about particular things. And so um, I think that's why people were so tired of talking about it so quickly, because it was like you either had to be on one extreme or the other. You couldn't be in the middle. You couldn't have different opinions and stuff. I got slammed by somebody. Somebody told me, I don't know how many people told me I need to go start a podcast, and I'm not a clinical psychologist, so how would I know? And so it's like, wow, I just thought we were having discussion. I didn't know I had to, although I'm a master's level counselor and I teach on a collegiate level counseling and techniques and therapy techniques. I thought I was all right, but maybe I'm not. And so, you let's open the dialogue. I know a lot of times social media, it puts a battery in people's back, and people just kind of get a little crazy. And I can respect your opinion and respect mine. Let's have a dialogue. Let's not make it so uh, open and shut. Let's have room for feedback and hearing other people's side. And even if we agree to disagree, that's all I have.
Yeah, man, listening to other opinions is just healthy and just right. And you can't be stuck in your own ways all the time because, if you don't know this, you're not always right. There's sometimes you may be wrong, but you would also want someone to listen to your opinion, especially if it differs from other people's popular opinion. Real quick for me, man. So, not too long ago, I was driving and this guy comes and kind of just jumps over the lane and cuts me off. It happens. It happens.
Hmm.
We see it all the time. But the telling part is when you look at the side of their car and it's dented up, and you're literally like, that's exactly why, because you drive like that. I
Right,
hate to see people always stopping short and the back of their car messed up. Or you look at people and the front of their car messed up, and that's because they always riding your ass. It's the
right,
way you drive. Like, calm down. This is why insurance rates are so high now. Like, it's
right.
ridiculous. This is why in the state of Maryland you have to have insurance because of the way some of y'all drive. Calm down. Use your blinker. Use the hand signals if you need to. You know, shit. All right, that's enough of that. Cause I was hot that day. Like, I
Yeah,
literally,
man.
I
That
was
makes me
hot.
mad too, because you seem like, okay, yeah, now I know why the side of your car marked up, because you like to switch lanes on people and not use your signal. You like to almost run people off the
Exactly.
road. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, man,
It,
it's crazy.
the driving test, you should have to renew your driver's license every 2 or 3 years if you
Oh
drive
wow.
stupid. And you should have some sort of monitor in your car that when you get
Mhm.
your emission test, it says drives stupid, and then they should make you go redo your redo
Right.
your license over again.
Been driving stupid for the last 6 months. Retest.
They give you 2 years. They give you 2 years. You know, everybody drives stupid for a little while. But
Right.
anyway, thank you all for joining us.
Right.
Again, hopefully you enjoyed the episode of Snowfall tonight, and then we will discuss that next week along with next week's episode of This Is Us. So, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I am Calvin. That guy is Garland, and we will see you all next week. All right,
See you
Garland.
next week. All right, bro.